What's going on, guys? Aaron from Top Tier Gaming here, and today I am coming at you with a brand new dueling book game with myself on the Rikka Sunavalon deck versus my opponent on P.U.N.K. We see that my opponent is at 773 rating and I was at 904 rating at the time of recording this video, so a decently high rated game. And yeah, so before we get into this game, I do want to let you guys know this weekend I have another regional I plan on going to in Arkansas, so hopefully I can come back with some content for that and we will see another, deck profile on what I'm taking there. And another thing about this game, previously, if you guys haven't, seen the channel before or you're unaware, I actually got top 8 with Rikka at the Fort Worth Regional, which was super cool. And this was a game recorded before that event, and I didn't upload it because I kind of wanted to keep the fact that I was off Rikka. I wanted to keep it a secret until after the event, so I have a couple of pretty good games that came from testing the deck, and that's what I'm doing today, so hopefully I can sort of remember what happened and go through this commentary nicely. But yeah, with all that being said, I do want to let you guys know, Discord link down below if you want to follow the channel more closely. All our social media links are down there. Also, I am trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you do like this Yu-Gi-Oh content, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out in what I do here on the channel. But without further ado, let's hop into this dueling book game. So starting with the rock, paper, scissors. We're going to have, I think, a couple ties. Yep, and another tie. Okay, we're in it. And I do lose the rock, paper, scissors, so I will be going second. And P.U.N.K is a deck that I think is actually really good. I want to test it out in the future. I think their new support is crazy. I just haven't gotten a chance to really test it for myself. So opening hands, we have Rikka Sheet, Rikka Arrival, Rikka Snow Princess, Primula, and Unexpected Die. So this is a pretty good hand. It definitely plays, and it has some go second options in the field spell. Our opponent opens Ghost Ogre, DD Crow, Ash Blossom, Extreme Session, and Xiamen. So his hand is pretty nice. So going into his turn, he's going to activate the Extreme Jam Session, summon Xiamen, and now of course with their new support, they're able to activate all their starters and then get additional draws off of it, which I think is so insane. So our opponent adds Foxy Tune and gets to draw Nibiru, which is a very strong card. It's one that a lot of people have sort of written off in this format, but I think is actually really strong. Because it's not being prepared for, it's a super strong hand trap actually. Our opponent's going to discard the Foxy Tune and the Ghost Ogre, which I'm fine with because Ghost Ogre hits our field spell pretty hard. He's going to special summon the Deer Note from the deck, go into the Jam Drive, so not going for the Chaos Ruler package here to go into Hulk and some other things. He's going to special summon the Xiamen with the Deer Note, and then going to add the Fusion Punk, Shiraksai is what we're going to call him, from the deck to hand. So that's pretty good because Jam Session is also an extender, and he's going to get to add as well because he's going to get to draw because he searched off Jam Drive. So again, just 5 cards in hand after making his play. The new field spell they have is so good. He's going to discard Ogre Dance to search a Punk monster. He's going to add Madam Spider. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go ahead and banish Ogre Dance to special summon Madam Spider from hand. Use Madam Spider's effect to search a Punk trap. And he's going to search the one that is a pop, so not the imperm, but it pops a face-up card if you control a Punk monster, but it usually just pops a set. Then our opponent is going to link those away into Halki Fibrax, and he's going to go ahead and special summon the Shinobi Necro. Now, I think this is a really interesting special summon here. I would think you want to special summon either Ghost Ogre or even another copy of this, because this card's only good if you have Gizmek or you have the Chaos Ruler in rotation. And yeah, you could synchro here with the Jam Drive, but it's not as good as making the Chaos Ruler and then doing this. So I think the Shinobi Necro here is kind of weird. I think Ghost Ogre would have just been an extra interruption. So yeah, I think that would have been better. He sets the trap and he passes. So yeah, definitely, I think that's a small misplay. He should have summoned Ghost Ogre here. I think the Shinobi Necro, unless he only plays one, which is possible, but I would definitely play more than one Ghost Ogre in a deck like Punk for sure. So he's going to pass to me, and we draw Rikka Petal, which is, pretty good. We have no Ghost second cards, really, but we have Engine that I think can play through this board, even through all of his hand traps. So we're going to start our turn with Unexpected Die. He does not choose to Ash, fair enough, playing around Gamma. And we're going to special Loci. Then we're going to link off the Loci into Sunavalon Dryas and activate its effect. Our opponent does Ash the Dryas, so that is not what you want to do. That's another slight misplay. Dryas adds sowing in most situations, and you'd rather Ash the sowing because then you don't get punished by them already having it or making another Dryas. So another small misplay on our opponent's part, but it's mostly fine. Because I don't have the access to punish him, it's going to work out for him. I'm going to normal summon Rikka Petal, and our opponent is going to use the trap to pop Petal. Then I'm going to special summon Princess, because she is just a free extender. I'm going to activate the field spell, and then because I control a Rikka monster, excuse me, my field spell is not long for this world, because he's going to activate the effect of P.U.N.K Fibrax, and at this point, I'm just sitting there hoping, like, please, let it be Formula Synchron. Do not let it be TG Wonder Magician, because that could be very bad. And our opponent special summons TG Wonder Magician. Now, most of the time I see these decks just play Formula now, so when I saw this, I was like, oh, that is so bad for us. So yeah, at this point, we have been hand trapped to oblivion. So our only play once you get hand trapped this many times in this deck is Dance Peony. And if Dance Peony mills the nuts, we're still in this game for sure. So we're going to mill 3 off of the Dance Peony, and she is going to mill Gamma, Princess, and Ash. So that is not what we want to see. You need to see either 2 monsters, or one of them needs to be like Lone Fire or Petal in this situation. So my only play is to swing with the Dance Peony into the Shinobi Necro. I'm going to set sheet, and I'm going to pass. And we're still in an okay position. Our opponent doesn't have too much follow-up. In fact, he's just going to go battle phase, not choosing to summon the Shirakasai, because I guess there's nothing he can really do with it. He's just going to swing at Princess, to which in the battle phase, I am going to activate my Rikka Sheet to tribute my Dance Peony and then take his Jam Drive. Now, he's still going to swing at the Princess, but because I tributed a monster, I'm actually going to trigger my Primula in the battle phase, which is going to allow me to keep a Rikka monster on the field. Our opponent is still going to go into battle phase, still choosing to swing at the Princess, so fair enough. I mean, I already had a Princess in grave, so it really didn't matter if he like killed this one. It's better in grave than on field, essentially. I think running over Primula is actually a little better there. But it's not like a big deal. So then, our opponent is going to think for a second, summon the Shirakasai, and then go end phase. And I'm actually going to activate Petal before going into resolution of my Rikka Sheet. So I'm going to activate the Petal here, and our opponent is going to attempt to DD Crow. Now this is a huge turning point in the game, because I still have his Jam Drive before in end phase when it has to resolve, and Petal is activating. So now this is a plant because of Rikka Sheet. So when he activates Crow to banish my Petal, I'm able to activate the Princess and tribute his Jam Drive to like negate the Crow, which is huge because even though I don't have Field Spell, I'm still able to tribute his monster, which is kind of nice. And then Petal does come out, and we're going to draw for turn. Use Petal effect in main phase. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it resolves. I'm pretty sure as the person who activated the card, you choose when your effects resolve in the end phase. You know, there could have been a misplay there for sure. I'm not sure if the monster has to go back to his field before I can activate optional effects like Rikka Petal. Definitely some end phase stuff going on there. That's something, you know, you guys can leave your opinion down below if you think I could keep the monster and decide when Rikka Sheet finishes resolving, because it doesn't say, you know, at the start of the end phase. Yeah, I'm not quite sure there. So definitely something that could be wrong in this game, and if that's wrong, you know, my apologies for the misplay. But yeah, in my mind, when I was playing this game, I was like, I can choose when Rikka Sheet finishes its resolution, and I can activate Petal first. Could be wrong, though. But either way, continuing the game, either way, both me and my opponent thought it was right in the moment, so that's where we are in this accepted game state. Rikka Petal searched for Snowdrop, and we're going to tribute the Petal to add Mudon, or to summon Mudon from our hand, and Mudon effect, gonna go ahead and add the Rikka field spell more than likely. And now it looks like we are in a fantastic position. Yeah, and it was a fantastic position because our opponent does go ahead and just scoop, which the game was completely in our control past that point. Even if, like, our opponent kept the Jam Drive, right? Even if the Jam Drive went back to their board, because we have the way to negate DD Crow still by tributing the Primula and search Petal, I think we won the game no matter what. So I don't think that if that was a misplay, it changed the outcome of the game, but it is something to like note for the future. I'm gonna have to ask around and see how end phase things resolve. Like, things get so weird in the end phase sometimes. So yeah, but we were probably going to win that game no matter what in that situation. So we're going into game 2, and of course I am assuming my opponent's going to make me go second, which he does, so we are playing second again. And opening hands, I opened Infinite Impermanence, Unexpected Die, Snowdrop, Loci, and Reboot. So it's a good hand, definitely. We have one go second hand trap, and then we have Reboot, which is a very strong go second card if he sided in any floodgates, right? Essentially why this is in here. Our opponent opens up Emergency Teleport, Ghost Ogre, Deer Note, Extreme Session, and Gizmek. So that is a hand with a lot of gas, so we'll see where it takes us. Our opponent's going to start off with activating the Jam Session and then activating Emergency Teleport. And he's going to special summon, presumably, yep, Z-Almond from his deck. Going to activate the Z-Almond, pay 600. I say that's fine. It's not something I'm really looking to imperm. Our opponent's going to add Ogre Dance, and then Jam Session will draw him a card, which is Gamma. Not going to be too great in this hand, but could be pitched with Foxy Tune. It could be saved for later, potentially. So it's not like a terrible draw. They also sometimes run Lambda, so that could come in handy for him. Our opponent's going to discard the Ogre Dance to add a Shirakusai from his deck to his hand. He's going to normal summon it, activate his effect to fusion summon, and that is going to pay 600. So of course our opponent will get an additional draw here off of the Jam Session, drawing a Foxy Tune. So that's a pretty nice draw because it gives him another Punk monster for his Deer Note. So that's definitely a good draw on his part for sure. Otherwise he really didn't have much. I am going to choose to imperm at the resolution of his draw. I don't really want him special summoning. Like, I didn't see him search Foxy Tune or add it in any way or have Deer Note already. So I was like, Rising Carp could be like his main play here. So I went ahead and impermed it. Looking back, I'm not sure if that's the correct play. Maybe hitting Jam Drive or Chaos Ruler would be better. I don't really like hitting Hulk too much in this deck. Honestly, the way Punk ends their turn, it might be better to save for the start of my turn, to be honest. But our opponent's going to activate Foxy Tune, presumably discarding the Gizmek because it's just free, to special summon Madam Spider. Madam Spider effect. I've seen a couple of different variations of Punk, and this one's definitely, so far, playing it a little slower, a little bit more control-oriented, not going for the Chaos Ruler game 1. Like, I've seen most of the time, the boards end on, like, Cheng Ying, Baron, and the Trap card very often, and maybe one or two other things with a lot of hand traps is the goal, but our opponent is definitely playing it a little safer so far. Jam Session, banish Ogre Dance to special the Deer Note, which is huge because he has a level 3 tuner on field. So this could be where our opponent decides to go Chaos Ruler, and he does. And I used my imperm on Rising Carp, so we have nothing for it. He's going to go ahead and mill 5 and trigger the Deer Note, targeting the Shirakusai, fair enough. And yeah, he's going to mill Foxy Tune, Ogre Dance, Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and Jam Session. So yep, adding Effect Veiler to his hand, a free interrupt. Now he is able to go here into Halki Fibrax, special summoning probably Shinobi Necro, because at this point you do still get to the Cheng Ying. He's activating Gizmek here, which interestingly enough I don't think he had to do. I mean, like, summoning Gizmek here is fine essentially, but he also has a level 8 in the form of this Rising Carp, so I don't think he needs Gizmek to be the extra level 8. So our opponent's going to make Dagda. This is where I would expect a Baron usually, but our opponent's going to opt to try to Scythe me instead of going for Baron plus Cheng Ying. Now our opponent does activate Chaos Ruler, banishing Foxy Tune and Shinobi Necro, so Shinobi Necro is going to summon here. And he's going to banish them to Synchro Summon the Baron, which is completely fine, set the trap, go end phase. So we are staring down, that is a crazy top deck. We are staring down Halki Fibrax, Baron, Veiler, Ogre, potentially Gamma. I'm really surprised he didn't go for Lambda or Cheng Ying instead of this slot. I think where he ended, like, honestly, potentially a better spot would have been using this maybe instead of the Gizmek for a Synchro Summon, or using, like, instead of going for Scythe, you could make Lambda here. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways to play this out. He is opting for the Scythe combo, though. So I draw Dark Ruler, which is absolutely huge here because obviously this hand couldn't play through Scythe combo. Now, I had a lot of go second cards in my deck, and, you know, drawing Imperm and Reboot is, like, fine, but I'm not surprised we saw another go second card. I'm just glad it was Dark Ruler because this card is crazy. So now we have Dark Ruler and Red Reboot, and Dark Ruler is huge here. Just gonna cut him off from essentially activating the Scythe Lock or using Baron. We're gonna Unexpected Die for Loci here, and I'm gonna link off into Dryas. presumably, yes, I'm going to link off into Dryas. Dryas effect to add, and our opponent goes ahead and activates Effect Veiler. Now we do have the way around this. We have Snowdrop tributing Dryas to special summon Loci, and then because Dryas isn't once per turn, we were able to link into him again and try to add once more. Now our opponent does activate the trap card, but we do have Red Reboot paying 4,000 life points to negate, and our opponent does not have any trap cards in his deck, and he didn't banish. He only has one trap in his list currently, so nothing to set up the Red Reboot, and he didn't banish any, so no imperms in his deck right now. So now we are able to attempt to play, which is very nice. We're going to go ahead and make Dryas effect, add the Sunvine Sowing, which our opponent does allow to go through, which this is going to be a little bit scary for our opponent for sure, because now we're going to go ahead and Dryas Chainlink 1, Twin Chainlink 1, Dryas Chainlink 2, gain the 1,000, special summon Thrasher, Twin special summon Loci back from grave. He's asking how I summoned, and I'm telling him it's Dryas' effect. Had to tell him a couple times there. It's fair enough, not knowing what these cards do. Sunavalon was not super popular last format. Like, it was popular enough, but not like crazy popular. And then I'm going to link those off into Jasmine, link this off into Dryas, link this off into Healer, and Healer is going to target Dryas to gain 300 life points. Jasmine effect to search. That is probably where our opponent might wanted to activate Snow Rabbit, because now Jasmine's going to be able to use its other effect, but fair enough, not knowing what the deck does. Now he's going to read. I'm going to use Jasmine's effect, tributing the Healer. At this point, I'm not quite sure where the opponent wants to use Ogre. I think on the field spell would be a pretty good hit, and that must be what our opponent's thinking here. One Ogre isn't going to be enough to stop Sunavalon half the time, but the problem is once he lets me use Jasmine's effect to get Petal, and Petal search Princess, his Ogre's not doing anything anyways, which is why, like, hitting the field spell is not the best thing there for sure. Like, not waiting for the field spell, because now, go ahead and Mood On effect. Mood On, add the field spell from deck to hand. Activate the field spell. Use field spell effect to set. Our opponent's going to Ogre. At this point, we have Snow Princess, so I can now tribute his Baronne to negate his Ghost Ogre, and that is so disgusting. This is, I mentioned it in my Rikka profile as well, like, this deck can be so crazy tributing your opponent's stuff. Our opponent is questioning how the field spell works, so I inform him. I'm going to activate, or I'm just showing him Glamour. I don't think I'm going to activate it, but I'm probably about to activate it. Yeah, activate Glamour, tributing the Dryas to add Primula and Snow Princess more than likely. One thing I didn't mention in my combo video that I uploaded is Glamour sometimes can also search Petal and Loci, which is another way to get Loci to your hand. It doesn't come up often, but when it does, it's very important to know that Glamour can do that. So, yes. But we are going to search Princess and Primula here. Activate the Primula to special summon. Then I'm going to special summon Rikka Snow Princess. Then we're going to overlay for the Strenna effect to add back the Glamour, which is fair enough, it's follow-up. Then I'm going to use Snowdrop, more than likely. Yeah, Snowdrop's effect to target Snowdrop to make them both level 8. Make the Teardrop, go battle phase, and we're in a very good position here, just outing the opponent's board with all of our monsters. And we have at least 2 interrupts, because it's really 3 interrupts, if you want to think of it, because we have the Teardrop, and we have Princess that can tribute Strenna, or tribute our opponent's monsters, so we are in a very good spot. Actually, I'm going to play this a little differently. I'm going to Teardrop, pop my Strenna effect, special summon Hyperion, or Alcei actually. You know, I think that's fair, because at this point I knew he had this trap set that could force something, so I can use the Alcei to bounce the trap card, which is very nice. I'm going to use the Alcei, calling Metabo Globster, very nice. I do want to check something here. Our opponent did not banish Driver, so this Gamma should be live. Our opponent's just going to let it resolve, though, so that's interesting. I actually put back the field spell. I think that's really interesting. I thought I was going to send back the back row because it was a little threatening, but I guess I knew that the back row without a... Oh, he doesn't have a P.U.N.K monster. That's what it is. So the field spell was generating, like, advantage. I didn't want him to have a way to pay and then get draws or have a free extender, so I targeted the field spell, and the P.U.N.K trap is terrible unless you control a P.U.N.K monster, so that is why I did that. Then I link off the Alcei and the Jasmine into Malias effect to bring back Loci, and make those Bengal Lancers. So we actually end with still 3 interruptions, maybe 4. We end with Teardrop, Bengal Lancer, and Princess Engraved that contribute to our opponent's monsters. We have Petal for follow-up, Bengal Lancer as follow-up, so that's a lot better. Like I really like the line I took with the Alcay to bounce the spell, and then he has less cards and still make a play. So yeah. And then our opponent draws Nibiru. I'm still surprised they chose not to activate Gamma. What is going on? Why didn't you activate Gamma here? I'm not quite sure. Once again, they didn't banish the driver. Maybe they sided it out. I'm not quite sure. We're going to see off this Gizmek effect. Opponent's going to summon the Gizmek, and we're going to look at what he banished. Okay, did he banish driver? Are we going to know? He did banish driver. What's going on, guys? So, definitely a couple misplays on our opponent's part. Maybe he wanted to save it for his turn if he drew emergency teleport or something like that. Not quite sure, but we are just going to win the game there. Our opponent does offer a rematch, but this video is already gone 21 minutes. Spoiler alert, I also win this one 2-0. We're just gonna, maybe I can show you guys in a little fast forward here. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up the commentating part of this video. If you want to see what's happening in this rematch, I'm not gonna go over it super in depth. You can see what's happening here. It's really nice that I had the Princess to special the mood on there. Or have a monster that can special mood on. So we're still able to play through this Ogre quite nicely. Our opponent scoops it up right there. Assuming I have full combo, I don't. But yeah, a couple of misplays, potentially on both sides. I'm still not quite sure how the end phase thing resolved. Like, some days you just brain fart, and that's what I was thinking in the moment. But again, leave your thoughts down below. Tell me what you think of the Rikka deck. I've done a combo video, I've done a deck profile of my top 8, and now I've done a game, really sort of trying to showcase the deck and all it can do for you guys. And yeah, it's a deck I really enjoy, and it's a really powerful deck in my opinion. I think definitely one of the top rogue picks right now. Did I just... Okay, that was a misclick. I tributed and added 2 Primula. That's not how it works, but we put a Primula back and added the Snow Princess. And yeah, the deck can do a lot of things. I just think it's a really fun deck. Deck that, if you guys want to try, you can go ahead. And yeah, I do show that even the rematch was a pretty swift 2-0. I think our opponent maybe was a little bit on tilt, but... that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. This has been Aaron from Top Tier Gaming. Bye, YouTube.